Hey there, and welcome. I am so glad you could join me. Today, we're going to jump into something super useful in Russian, the past tense. And I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to see just how easy it is. Okay, let's get right into it. So, first things first, why is this so important? Well, have you ever wanted to tell someone what you did over the weekend? Or, share a cool story about something that happened yesterday? Knowing the past tense is the key that unlocks all of those conversations. And today, we're going to hand you that key. Believe it or not, the main rule for making the past tense in Russian is surprisingly simple. There's really just one easy formula that works for almost every verb out there. So let's break it down. It really is just 3 simple steps. First, you start with the infinitive verb. That's the to do something version you'd find in a dictionary. You'll know it's an infinitive because most of them end in these 2 letters, T. Step 2, you just chop that ending right off. And finally, step 3, you add one of 4 super simple past tense endings. That's the whole trick. So what are these magical endings? Well, get this, there are only 4 of them, and which one you use just depends on who or what you're talking about. For a masculine subject, like he, you add L. Let's say it together, L. For a feminine subject, like she, you add la. Your turn, la. For a neuter subject, it's lo. Let's hear it, lo. And for any plural subject, like we or they, you add li. One more time, li. Fantastic. All right, this is where it all comes together. Let's take a super common verb, делать, which means to do or to make. We take off the T and stick on our new endings. I'm going to say each one very slowly, and I want you to say it right after me. You ready? For masculine, делал. Feminine, делала. Neuter, делало. And plural, делали. See? You're already doing it. Well done. Okay, let's plug these into some real sentences so you can see how they work. We'll go through them together. If a man is speaking, he'd say, Я читал, I read. For she spoke, it's она говорила. For he worked, он работал. Now for we traveled, we use the plural form. Мы путешествовали. And for they watched, они смотрели. You are really getting the hang of this. Okay, so you've totally got the main rule down. Now, like with any language, there are a few common verbs that kind of like to play by their own rules. But don't worry, they're not hard, and they are so common that it's a really good idea to just know them by heart. First up, we've got the verb to go, which is iti. The first clue that it's a little different is that its infinitive doesn't end in t. The past tense forms are pretty unique too. Let's say them carefully. For masculine, it's shol. For feminine, shla. And for plural, shli. This one is used all the time, so it's a great one to practice. Next up is another one you'll use constantly, to eat. The infinitive is есть. And yeah, this one doesn't follow our simple rule either. Let's practice its past tense forms. For masculine, he ate, it's ел. For feminine, she ate, ела. And for plural, they ate, ели. Nicely done. And our final key verb for today is to know, znats. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This one is actually totally regular, but it's so important that we wanted to give it a special mention. You just drop the chats and add the endings we already learned. Let's just say them one more time for good measure. Masculine, znal. Feminine, znala. And plural, znali. Perfect. All right, you've learned the rule, you've seen the examples, and you've even tackled a few of the key irregulars. You are absolutely ready to use this stuff. So now it's time to put it all together. Let's try having that weekend conversation we talked about right at the start. Okay, imagine I'm asking you this question. I'll say it nice and slow, and you can think about how you'd answer. Ready? Что ты делал в выходные? That means, what did you do on the weekend? So here's one possible answer. Let's say you read a book. You would say, and I really want you to repeat this whole sentence after me, В субботу я читал книгу. Awesome. That means on Saturday I read a book. And what about Sunday? Maybe you watched a movie. Let's try saying that together. Say it with me. В воскресенье я смотрел фильм. That's it. On Sunday, I watched a movie. You just did it. You described your weekend in Russian. You know, let's just take a second to realize what you just did. You've taken the single most important step to being able to talk about the past. You came here to learn something new, and you're already building real sentences. Seriously, you're doing a fantastic job. That's right, that simple, powerful rule for talking about pretty much everything that's ever happened. You can officially say you've conquered it. Go on, you've earned a little pat on the back for that. And I'm not exaggerating. What you learned today is one of the biggest, most important building blocks of the entire Russian language. This opens up the door to so much more conversation. It is a huge step forward. So, what do you think? After tackling the past so well, I have a feeling you might be ready to look ahead. Thank you so much for putting in the work with me today, and I really hope to see you for our next one.